My name is James Bridgeforth. I'm a young and very successful investor who has generated multiple tens of thousands of dollars investing in the stock and crypto markets. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about one stock that should take off in 2026 and is slowly changing the world that we know today. But right before I dive into this stock, I want to move on to how the stock market has been performing over the last couple of weeks so we can exactly see if we're actually going to go on a Santa rally. Now, if you aren't familiar with what a Santa rally is, it's basically the last 5 trading days of the year and the first 2 trading days of the upcoming year. This is where the stock market or any of the markets are going to perform extremely well and start to run up in the upward direction simply because of the good sentiment that is going on in the world. See, we have consumers buying at all-time levels with recent holidays such as Christmas and New Year's, and this causes the markets to go up in the upward direction, having great sentiment heading into the next year. And this can also be a slight indicator of how the market is going to perform heading into January. Obviously, it's not certain, but historically we have seen that a Santa rally is going to lead to a strong January. So when we take a look, we can see that the S&P 500 looks to be up 1% over the last 5 days. This can be very beneficial simply because this shows that we have a slight indication of a Santa rally. We also took a slight dip over the last 5 days, kind of retracing back to where we were. But we can also see that the S&P 500 has been performing well over the last 5 days, which is going to be positive news for the markets. Now, as we move into the NASDAQ, this is going to track the performance of our top performing technology companies, and we see that it is going to be up 0.53%. This is also going to be positive news for the markets. It's kind of sideways at the moment since we have had a slight retracement. If you are looking, then you can clearly see that we were closer to an all-time high, more so around 23,650, but we also slightly dipped to 23,435. So the markets are taking a slight dip at the moment, but we still are up 0.53% over the last 5 days, which could be an indication that we could possibly be moving into a Santa rally. We are having a slight sell-off at the moment, looking to rebound if we go into the upward direction. We still have a couple more days before the new year closes out and then heading into the next year, so hopefully we can see that the market will start to perform well and go up in the upward direction so that we can have a very strong January to start 2026. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we have had major news come out about this specific stock, which I'm going to be talking about moving forward and how it's going to perform well in 2026, and this is going to be Nvidia. If you haven't seen the recent news lately, Nvidia actually just reached a deal with Grok. It underscores how the AI chip giant uses its massive balance sheets to maintain dominance. If you look here, then you can see that Nvidia acquired Grok for $20 billion, making this Nvidia's largest deal ever. This is major news for the AI space as we see that Nvidia is continuing to expand and even reaching other AI technology companies that Nvidia can benefit from. Nvidia is slowly starting to become the greatest company in the entire market as it's sitting at the #1 spot with around a $5 trillion market cap. So as Nvidia continues to grow and acquire more companies, we can slowly see that Nvidia is going to dominate the AI space for years and years to come, which is exactly why I believe that in 2026, Nvidia will perform amazing. And we even have price predictions for 2026 from some of our favorite analysts. As we can see, one of the top analysts has just suggested that Nvidia could hit a $250 base case target. This means at the minimum, he believes by the end of 2026 that Nvidia could reach $250. This is going to be massive for the stock if it's able to achieve this goal, simply because it's a 33% gain from where we sit today, and we also have future catalysts that are going to push us in the upward direction so that we can even pass that $250 mark for Nvidia on the base case. See, when we have a stock like Nvidia, which is #1 in the world, we can see that as it's slowly starting to acquire bigger companies and it's adding to its portfolio because of the money that it brings in. See, Nvidia is a very profitable company and it's great on its balance sheets, which allows it to afford many of these deals and it's able to acquire larger companies that it's going to benefit itself moving forward. And when we have a great price target like this, we can see that there's good sentiment around Nvidia as well. And we also know that it's a good company simply because we also look at the future of AI. When we look at AI and see how it's going to start to shape our world and how we live in it, we can see that all of our major companies, we have Nvidia, Microsoft, AMD, we have Amazon, we have all of these companies, and we see all of these massive companies starting to take on AI and how it's going to shape the world. The world has gotten to the point to where we're using AI without us even knowing in everyday life. When you look up things on Google, that's a form of AI because it's giving you the AI answer first as it scavenges the entire internet to find that data for you. So as Nvidia and many of the largest chip companies in the world start to provide more services to these companies that are acquiring AI at larger quantities, Nvidia is going to benefit from that. And we're seeing that simply from the balance sheet, and they're using that balance sheet to then acquire more AI chips and more AI companies that is going to benefit them in the long run, making them one of the greatest companies in the stock market's history. So as Nvidia continues to run on this upward direction and has a base case of 250, we're going to talk about how you can exactly position yourselves so that you are able to benefit from this great run. So when we're looking at opportunities to buy, we see that Nvidia has a base case of $250 by the end of 2026, but it's currently sitting at around $187, $190 per share. What should I do? Should this be a good opportunity for me to buy, or should I start to wait, dollar cost average? What are the options that present themselves, and how should I go about doing this? Me personally, I will be dollar cost averaging into Nvidia, as I already have a large portion of shares, so then it can start to slowly start to average my cost down, or it's even going to average my cost a little bit up. But since I believe in Nvidia long term, I understand that the prices that we sit at today are going to be a discount in the future. So when we have Nvidia, and I believe in it over the next 10 to 20 years as a great company, when I buy at these prices, I understand 10 to 20 years from now is a long-term investment that is going to be at a higher price than it sits today, making it an amazing investment. So if you want to start to load up at these points, you obviously can, and then you can even dollar cost average as we start to retreat back and get certain corrections. But that's only if you believe in it long term. Now, if you're looking for a short-term play, you're going to want to pull up the charts and look for certain support and resistance levels that you're able to buy heavier at, and then also create a stop loss so that you're able to get out at certain positions so that you're not risking your entire portfolio trying to swing trade Nvidia. Me personally, I wouldn't try to bet on it. I would just simply start to buy at low positions and hold for the long term, because I truly believe this is going to be a company that is going to shape the world that we live and start to change the way that we look at everything. So remember, as we head into a world with AI, don't be scared of it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't look at it as a threat to your life, but start to acquire it so that you are able to benefit. And this is an asset in a sector that you are able to leverage that is going to be able to make you money in the long term and even lead to retirement and financial freedom for you and your family. So don't look at AI as something that is going to take away your freedom by taking away your job, but this is a key opportunity over the next 5 years where I truly see that if you are acquiring AI, as I truly believe that we are even in the first quarter of AI of what it could actually be, as you acquire in these early stages, I believe that this is not an AI bubble. This is not something that's going to burst and we have a massive dip in the market. I believe that this is something that is here to stay for the long term and is going to shape the way that we live our lives. So acquire AI and AI companies at these price points so that you are able to benefit over the next 4 to 5 years, and that you aren't on the opposite end of the spectrum looking at AI as a threat to your life, but it's going to be something that is going to benefit your life and make your life easier. So moving forward, going into 2026, this is going to be a stock that I'm going to be heavily acquiring as I believe in it long term. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I would do in this situation. So if you enjoyed watching this video, if you learned anything new, or if you're considering adding Nvidia to your portfolio, let me know in the comment section. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that post notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll see you guys in the next video.